Today, I'm going to be stepping into the role of your personal mining consultant. We're going to walk through the safe, highly practical, and strategic basics of setting up your very first low-cost crypto mining project. Now, the landscape in 2026 is vastly different than it was just a few years ago. You definitely can't just plug in an old laptop and expect to strike gold anymore. But listen, if you're smart, methodical, and treat this like a real micro business, there are absolutely still great opportunities out there for you.
Okay, so here's our syllabus for the day. It's a logical roadmap. We'll cover crypto mining basics unlocked, choosing your hardware, calculating your real profits, dealing with heat, power, and taxes, setting up your first roadmap, and finally deciding whether to mine or just buy.
Let's dive right into Section 1, Crypto Mining Basics Unlocked. So, what actually is crypto mining? If you're a complete beginner, you might honestly be picturing digital pickaxes chipping away at virtual rocks. But the reality? It's much more akin to running a small, automated accounting business. You're basically providing a validation service to a network.
The absolute crucial takeaway here is that mining is just trading your computer's processing speed and your local electricity for newly minted coins. Whenever your hardware successfully solves a really complex math puzzle, you're helping to secure a block of transactions. And in return, the network compensates you for that hard work. Simple as that. 200,000. Let that number sink in for a second. That is how many times more energy efficient a specialized ASIC machine, which, by the way, is a computer built to do literally just one specific task, is compared to a standard graphics card when it comes to mining Bitcoin today. The performance gap isn't just a little bit better, it's completely exponential. And this is exactly why we, as beginners, won't be starting with Bitcoin. To even compete in that arena, you'd need industrial scale money.
All right, let's move on to Section 2, Choosing Your Mining Hardware. Now, the real secret to modern mining is matching your hardware type directly to a specific coin and its unique algorithm. For example, an ASIC is a specialized beast that's great for merged mining Litecoin and Dogecoin. A GPU, your standard graphics card, is way more flexible and currently best suited for coins like Caspia or Ravencoin. But for a student entry point, you really want to look at a standard CPU for a coin called Monero.
Monero is, without a doubt, our ultimate low-cost entry strategy. It uses an algorithm called RandomX, which was intentionally designed to resist those massive, super expensive ASIC machines. Instead, it favors the regular processor that's probably sitting inside your everyday desktop right now. This is a total game changer, because it means you can learn the ropes, connect to a pool, and start validating transactions without taking on thousands of dollars in upfront hardware risk.
Now for the fun stuff. Section 3, Calculating Your Real Profits. Before you spend a single dollar, as your consultant, I've got to warn you about the top 3 profit killers that absolutely ruin new hobbyists. Number 2 is hardware inefficiency and the heat it produces. Number 3 is network difficulty. Basically, as more people start mining, your slice of the pie gets smaller. But the absolute biggest threat to your margins, number 1, your electricity costs. If you are paying more than 10 cents per kilowatt hour, turning a profit on a home setup becomes incredibly difficult. Let's actually crunch some numbers to calculate your potential monthly return on investment. First, you estimate your daily coin revenue. Then calculate your power cost. Take your machine's wattage, plus the wattage of the fans or AC unit cooling it down, divide that by 1,000, multiply by 24 hours, and then multiply by your electricity rate. Subtract your 1 to 2% pool fee to get your net daily profit. Multiply that by 30, and boom, you have your monthly earnings. Listen carefully. If your fuel, which is your electricity and cooling, plus your pool fee costs more than the delivery pays, you lose money. Period. Let's talk safety and compliance in Section 4, Heat, Power, and Taxes. Safety first, right? The golden rule on this physical safety checklist is to absolutely never, ever use SATA power cables, those thin little wires meant for hard drives, to power heavy-duty components like PCI risers. They are only rated for low power, and using them for mining is a highly documented fire hazard. You also need to keep your power supply load strictly under 80% of its maximum capacity, since it'll be running 24/7. And finally, you have to estimate your cooling needs based on your local room temperatures. Make no mistake, mining rigs pump out heat exactly like space heaters.
So what happens if your electricity bill starts creeping up over time, or coin prices suddenly drop? You have to adapt your engine. You can use software like MSI Afterburner to undervolt your graphics cards, which just means you're intentionally restricting their power consumption without losing much performance. Alternatively, you might set your rigs to only run during off-peak night hours when power is cheaper. or you just have to be willing to pause operations entirely until the math turns positive again.
And we can't forget about Uncle Sam. On the compliance side, a lot of beginners simply don't realize that legally, mined coins are treated as ordinary income at their fair market value the exact moment they hit your wallet. Because of this, keeping a meticulous daily ledger tracking your bills against your coin income is non-negotiable. And when you eventually sell those coins, you'll trigger capital gains or losses too. You have to treat this like a real business right from day one.
Bringing it all together in Section 5, your first mining roadmap. Before you go out and spend a single dime on shiny new gear, I want you to follow this simple roadmap. Step 1. Test the computer you already own. Set up XMRI and mine Monero on your CPU for a week. Step 2. Do the exact electricity math using a simple plug-in wall meter. Step 3. Connect to a beginner-friendly mining pool so you get steady, predictable payouts instead of relying on the impossible lottery of solo mining. And Step 4. Monitor your temperatures and net profits daily. Watch them like a hawk.
Which brings us to our final section, to mine or to buy.
When it comes time to make your final call, remember this rule of thumb. Mining is absolutely fantastic if you already have idle hardware and your local power is sitting under 10 cents a kilowatt hour. But if your power is expensive, like 15 or 20 cents, it is practically and financially so much smarter to just skip the hardware depreciation, skip the massive heat generation, avoid the annoying fan noise, and simply buy the digital assets directly on an exchange to hold in your portfolio.
So, the ball's in your court. Now that you have the complete blueprint, what's it going to be? Do you have the cheap power, the idle hardware, and the patience to start your engine safely? Or when you look at the cold, hard math, is direct investing actually the smarter play for your specific situation? Take these worksheets, run your own numbers tonight, and make the smart choice for your portfolio. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy calculating.